Well, I started auctioneering down here January 1st of 2015, and then I took over as manager July 1st of 2015, that same year, and then I've been the manager ever since. Yeah, every year the Livestock Marketing Association holds the World Livestock Auctioneer Contest. It starts out with 3 regionals across the United States. I went to a regional in Sigourney, Iowa. I finished, they take the top 10. There was 31 contestants, I believe, and they take the top 10 from each region. And I finished 3rd in Iowa, and then that got me a seat to the contest in Paris, Kentucky, and that was in June last month. And they take the top 10, like I said, from each region, and they take the #1 auctioneer out of Canada and any other country that wants to. It's open to the world. So I believe it was last year they had an Australian in there that we get. Like I said, we get a Canadian every year, and there's an interview portion of the contest that they talk about. They ask you about industry issues, and then the auctioneering contest itself is the following day. And I actually won Rookie of the Year. It was my first year competing there, and out of eight rookies, I was #1 rookie. I actually grew up, I was born and raised up in Nebraska, raised on a farm and on a ranch. I got into auctioneering, kind of taught myself when I was a young kid. Didn't do a whole lot with it. And I went to the Marine Corps for 8 years, and when I got out of the service, I just decided I was going to pursue the career in auctioneering, and I just kind of took off. And I was auctioneering down here every Friday, and then they were needing a manager, and they asked me if I was interested in the job, so I climbed aboard. So I do. I tell you what, it's been a great community, very welcoming. They want this sale barn here, and a lot of people in the community, they're kind of rooting for us, and they do a lot of business with us, and we do a lot of business with the community. Everything we're doing here is, our contractors are all local. We use, we buy everything that we use here, we buy it locally. So. One of the big changes we've made is obviously our advertising, utilizing Nex-Tech as an advertisement tool. And as far as that goes, we broadcast more on the radio. We're doing a lot around here as far as improvements. We're tearing out a lot of the old wood pins, and as you can see right behind you, we're putting them all back into steel. We've rebuilt our load and chute. We've added online bidding, our sales stream online every Friday on cattleUSA.com. It's easy. You get on there, you register to bid, you click the link for Hill City Livestock, and you can watch the sale and bid online. It has. One thing that the online bidding does is it opens up your sale to the entire continental United States, as well as other countries can view it as well. Now, obviously, we don't sell anything to other countries, but we do sell to our neighboring states a lot. Wyoming, Nebraska, Colorado. We sell a lot of cattle go to Colorado and Nebraska. Oklahoma. We've had bidders from Iowa and Missouri. To me, it's a tool that you almost can't do without anymore, because it's gone online, and video sales are, they're mainstream now. That's what everybody's wanting to go to, is they want the United States to see their cattle and see the sale. And to me, it's a great tool that I thought it was something that was very crucial to have at the sale. Absolutely, I 100% agree with that. Them knowing that the video is available and the online bidding is available, it makes them feel more comfortable about the buyers. That is one thing that at a sale barn, it requires buyers to be here. And with that online, I've got gentlemen out of Nebraska that they don't even come down here. They just watch the sale online. They call me about certain sets of cattle, and they watch and buy online. I think it's like I said before, I think it's crucial to the sale barn and to the livestock industry. And that is one of the selling points, is we have online bidding, and one of them might tell me, well, that'll be their first question. Do you have the internet? Do you have an online stream and sale? And, it's an easy question for me to answer, and yes, and I expressed, how important it is to me, to have that. And a lot of them guys, that's a selling point. That's how you get their cattle, is tell them that, we're completely up to date. We've got Cattle USA. We take bids online. As the auctioneer, I actually have my screen set up to where I take online bids myself, so I don't have to depend on anybody. I can run it myself during the auction. I sit up there with 3 computer screens in front of me. It's a fast-paced sale, and I really enjoy it. I like it that way. And when we do get the internet, we slow down just a little bit, because I realize there's probably a half a second delay or a 1 second delay on that internet. So I wait for my guys, and there's a button on there that they can click that says no. So I can ask them online, you know, would you like to bid again? And they click yes or no, and if they click bid, it just flashes red at me, and I know they're bidding. So yeah, it's a great tool. I can't express enough how important it is to this livestock market. It is, and like I said, we're when we get, especially when we get 2 or 3 guys on there. I mean, we'll get in a situation, you got 3 guys bidding, and as they bid, their name flashes up. So I've got to tell each individual on the internet which guy is out and who's in the lead, and it takes just an extra split second. To me, it doesn't bother me because I know that I'm there working for the customer to sell cattle the auction method, and I'm willing to take an extra second. If I'm going to put an extra 5, 10, 25, $100 in my customer's pocket, I'll take a couple seconds. You know, that's what we're here for, is to market cattle. You know, the auction method of marketing and true price discovery, and that's what it's all about, is taking care of your customers. Customer service is #1 around here, no doubt. That's a good question. You know, I don't think it's you still got them guys that want to come to the sale and they want to get actual visual of what they're buying. You know, so I don't think I've seen that big of a dent in the crowd and the seats. I think all it is doing is add more buyers to the buyers that you already have.
And a bigger selection almost.
Absolutely, a bigger selection of buyers. You know, guys get on there and buy everything from baby calves to cows to to bred cows. We sell a lot of bred cows over the internet. You know, but back to your question, I don't think it's made that big of a difference as far as the crowd and the seats.
Most of it was just a regular internet install. The equipment was already in place. We had to adjust some cameras and adjust the speed on the internet. You know, without the fiber, it wouldn't be possible to get enough bandwidth to make something like this work as well as it does.
Ty come in and set us up. Our first sale, we had a little hiccup. I told him that I'd be on standby on sale day, and he was there within literally 5 minutes. Right before the sale started, he got us back online, and we haven't had a single problem since. I mean, Nextech, their service has been just above reproach. Really, I can't find enough good things to say about the service. I mean, our guys that bid online, I call them and ask them about the delays, and they said, hey, man, there's hardly a delay at all. You know, what they see on screen is actually real time. You know, maybe minus a fifth of a second. You know. It's the importance of the provider is if anybody watching this is thinking about putting Cattle USA in the Nextech area, you come highly recommended, no doubt. I mean, it's the service is, because what you're dealing with essentially, say I have a load of cattle in there, and you're talking about a $70,000 to $80,000 deal that is transpiring, and if my service, and if I've got a guy online that's bidding and my service fails me, and he's actually trying to bid, but his bid isn't going through, and I sell out to a gentleman in the barn, I might have just cost my customers $1,000, $2,000. I mean, I guess I can't express enough how important the service is. But without reliable service, you might as well just shut the computer off, you know, because all you're going to do is make somebody mad and make the customers mad, you know, because if they know they've got an online bidder and they know you lost service, you know, it reflects not only very poorly on our management, but very poorly on our provider. You know, but like I said, right when we got set up, we had one little hiccup right at the first sale. Ty come set it all up. Haven't had a problem with it since.
He had called and visited with me, and we set up a time, went down there. I looked at things, and I've been involved with online sales before through Livestock I-Raise, and I kind of had a pretty good idea what he was trying to do, and I right away told him we may have to get some more broadband to you to make this work, and that ended up being the case, but we were able to because they're on fiber down there, and we can get them, you know, as much as needed to make it work.
I would say about 50-50. About 50% of the surrounding sale barns, livestock markets, are going to the video. Half of them aren't, and to me, it's they're shooting themselves in the foot, so to speak, by not having the online. I mean, it's a huge marketing tool, as well as it is a tool used in the sale barn to get more bidders and more people to your sale. It is. That's a good question, because you're right. Some of these sale barns are starting to, in the smaller towns, and it takes somebody that's really aggressive that wants to make one run. And you gotta spend, as they say, you gotta spend money, make money, and stay up to date. Putting in the internet, putting in the online bidding. That's huge, and because there's a lot of cattle being sold on video, and a lot of people want to see that at their local markets. I'm young enough. I kind of grew up in the technology age. It wasn't that big of a transition for me, but I've met some barn managers that, they've been at it for 30 years, and they have somebody that handles the internet. They won't even, they don't even want to bother with it, just because, like you said, that it's tough to teach an old dog new tricks. They're stuck in their ways, that the old-fashioned way that you get the cattle to the barn and your buyers show up, sit in seats, and they buy cattle that way. But it's an ever-changing world, and we're just trying to keep up. And I think we're doing a good job. We're as far as that internet goes, and all of our systems are all up to date, all electronic. We don't do anything handwritten anymore, other than write tickets when we bill in, and I think that's key to making one of these barns successful. And it all starts with technology and the internet, and the online bidding and the live streaming of your sale. And again, I was fortunate enough that I grew up, like I said before, I grew up in the information age and technology, and some of the older auctioneers, they can't stand the internet. And me, I embrace it. I think it's I don't know auctioneering any other way in the livestock industry. When I came aboard as an auctioneer and auctioneering cattle, the internet was almost, in half the barns that I worked at. I used to work at 5 sales a week, and probably 3 out of the 5 had the internet. So I didn't know any different. So as soon as I took over here, they didn't have the Cattle USA, and that was the first decision I made as manager in my first 100 days, so to speak, was put in online bidding. I mean, to me, there's no other way to have a sale barn.